What's going on, guys? Emmanuel Jones here, back at it with another weekly prediction. And this time, we'll be doing our Week 15 predictions for this week. Last week, I went 9-4, and my overall record is 140-68, which I did pretty good so far. So yeah, before we get started here, I want you to put a thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and comment down your opinion below to see who you got winning Week 15. So let's get started here. So basically, I chose the Niners to win 30-23, and they lost 12-6, which that was pretty sloppy game. I mean, no one thought that game was fun to watch. So yeah, by the way, let's get started here. Um okay, so next game. Okay, we got this first game though. We got the Kansas City Chiefs against the Cleveland Browns. Um, the Chiefs are favored by 4.5. It was at 4, but now they're favored at 4.5. I wonder why that line changed. So basically, the Chiefs are coming off a close win against the Chargers. The Browns are totally coming off a big loss against the Steelers. So basically, that game is in Cleveland. Now, the Browns defense is good at home because the Browns always play well at home, better on the road. The Browns do have a really good defense. They have a good pass rush, a good secondary. Their offensive line is great. They got great receivers. But I think the Browns should be able to move the ball in the Chiefs, knowing that the Chiefs defense. They have not been playing at their best. I mean, they're letting teams hang around. Like I said, they let teams hang around. Like basically, the Chiefs should have at least lost to the Chargers last week, but because the Chargers definitely came back on them, and the Chiefs kind of started the game a little sloppy a little bit, and the Chargers did too. And basically, the Chiefs, I have a feeling that the Chiefs should be able to move the ball in this game against the Browns. I don't know if they're going to be able to run it much. I guess that Browns defense, because the Browns do have great run defense and the Chiefs do have great run defense. I don't think two teams going to be able to run the ball as much, but I think they'll start throwing the ball like so many times a game. And Jameis Winston, this will be like the most funniest thing to ever see Jameis Winston, because it's in Cleveland now. He could do something crazy where he might do a little pregame speech. We know it's kind of funny that to see him do that, but at the same time, I want to say the Browns can pull off an upset against the Chiefs because the Browns are good at home and they match up really well with the Chiefs. So the Browns offense shouldn't really have problem, blocking the Chiefs, because I don't think the Browns defense will get exposed. I don't think the Chiefs defense will get exposed a little bit. But at the same time, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game because I think the Chiefs are the better team. They got the better quarterback. They got the better coach. And I think their defense can do enough to at least contain Jameis Winston. And I think they'll stop the run better. I mean, their pass defense is playing really good. I think they'll find a way to stop the pass okay against the Chargers. Like, I think their passing game can. I think they'll find a way to pass the ball against, better as well because I don't think the Browns gonna be able to throw the ball as much on the Chiefs secondary as well. Because I think the Chiefs they like to do is play man coverage, and Jameis Winston is good against man coverage. But don't get me wrong, but sometimes he kind of sucks against man coverage. But the Chiefs defense might do a good job forcing a turnover because I feel like Jameis Winston is still a turnover machine as well. So yeah, I think it's gonna be close though, but I'm gonna say the Chiefs win like 24-20, something like that. But I'll take the 4.5 with the Browns. I think the Browns will do enough to cover this game. I think they'll play better as an offense this game because last week they were a little sloppy and all that. So yeah, I'll take the Browns with the points, but I'll take the Chiefs to win the game because Chiefs got more to play for and the Browns don't because they already eliminated from the playoffs. All right, next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals against the Tennessee Titans. The Bengals are favored by 5.5. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I really will take I will take the Bengals to win the game, but I won't take them to cover as well because the Bengals defense has been very, very bad this year. Like it has been. Like they're letting teams hang around. I mean, they're letting guys wide open. They're letting them run down their throne. Like seriously, like the Bengals defense has been atrocious this year. So I feel like the Titans offense should be able to find success here against a pretty bad defense like the Bengals. I think the Titans will run the ball in this game. I think they'll throw the ball a little bit. And Will Levis, he's been good against man coverage, but he's kind of an average quarterback. But at the same time, you got because at the same time, you got the Titans, their defense is really good. Like they'll find a way to at least like get some stops. Offensively, they should be able to move the ball. So yeah, so the Titans, their secondary I don't think is any good. And their secondary has not been playing good for weeks. But yeah, their defense kind of really played well in the game they did against the Jags. I mean, but their offense kind of blew it though. But I have a feeling that the Bengals defense, I think they should play better in this game. I think they'll find a way to at least contain the run game. They'll find a way to contain Will Levis. And Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is a terrible matchup for the Titans because the Titans, their secondary has been atrocious. I don't think their cornerbacks are healthy. But if they were, I think they'll find a way to at least like match up with the Bengals. But I don't think the Titans match up poorly with the Bengals because we seen that last year, where the Titans really, really blew them out, last year, where the defense really kept them out of the end zone. But I don't think the same thing will happen. I think Burrow will get his revenge on Tennessee because last year he lost to them on the road. But I think he's gonna find a way to at least like ball out in this game. So yeah, so I expect this game to be close though, but I feel like it's gonna be a little bit high scoring because the Bengals will allow 30 points to the other team, will allow 30 plus points to the other team, but I don't think the Titans gonna do enough in this game to do that. But I'm gonna say Bengals win maybe by a field goal, maybe like 33-30 or like 30-27, 26-23, something like that. So yeah, especially the Bengals offense has been playing really good and Joe Burrow's been balling out. Like there's no now how can and people are saying the Bengals are may not make the playoffs, but they still have a chance though. They're sitting at 5-8. Like I don't know, dude. Like how could you have like the best quarterback in the NFL and your offense is playing really good and you literally just have no defense? Like Big Lou should be fired because he's not doing a good job of the defense so far. Like he's letting the defense, he's holding his team back. Like for real. But yeah, they did beat the Cowboys. But I think the Bengals find a way to win this game. But I will take Tennessee with the points because Cincinnati's they're the better team. They got better coaching, better quarterback. So yeah, that's pretty much why. Next game we have the Washington Commanders. We got the Washington Commanders against the New Orleans Saints. The Commanders are favored by -8. Um, Obviously, I will take the Commanders to win this game, and I'll take them to cover. They're the better team overall. They got better quarterback. They got better coaching. Derek Carr, he's doubtful to play, but but they're saying he's week to week because I believe he was evaluated with a concussion and he had a hand injury, I believe. But that's serious to say. Like, how could you be week to week with a hand injury when you fractured it? If I would have thought about that, he fractured his hand, they would have shut him down for the season because it's literally though you only got at least like a few more weeks left in the regular season because you got like 3 more games left in the regular season and he's week to week. Like, come on now, they got to be like the Saints. No Derek Carr, so they're either going to be starting Spencer Rattler again or Jake Huner. If it's one of these quarterbacks, I don't see the Saints offense doing that much. Like, here's the thing. The Saints got too many injuries, especially on offense. No Chris Olave again, no Rashid Shaheed, no Taysom Hill. So basically, they literally had no weapons on offense except for Juwan Johnson. So you got Juwan Johnson who rely on. I think he can step up. I think Alvin Kamara, maybe he can step up. So I don't see the Saints offense doing that much. And the Commanders, I mean, they do have a good defense, but they're soft at times. I think Commanders, can run the ball a little bit on them. And they pretty much have a really good defense as well. I feel like this could be a Marshawn Lattimore revenge game. So I think Lattimore, I feel like their secondary will find a way to at least play sticky coverage against against an injured Saints offense. And Commanders' defense is pretty good. I think their defense will find a way to at least like stop the run and get after, who's ever playing quarterback for the Saints. So as well. So yeah, but this is a homecoming for Jaden Daniels as you turn to New Orleans. So don't forget about that. And also, New Orleans are at home. I know I get it, but the Saints have not been good at home, and Washington's a better team. So I think Washington wins. I think they cover. I believe they're gonna win big. Like they're gonna win like maybe 34-10, something like that. You know what? That could be my lock of the week. So as you all know that's my lock of the week. So yeah. I think Washington wins big and cover big. Next game, we have the Baltimore Ravens against the New York Giants. Ravens are favored by 16 points, like 16 and a half. Wow, that's a big spread. I'm not going to go much into this game. As y'all know, Deontay Johnson is suspended for this game. So that's something you got to know of. Because, he didn't enter the game, against the Eagles. That's why they kicked him out. That's why they suspend him. But here's the thing. It don't really matter because I got the Ravens winning and I got them covering big. I got them destroying the Giants because the Ravens are the better team. They got the better quarterback, better coaching as well. I mean, the Giants don't really have nobody who can start with. Like, they're questionable at quarterback. Who's going to start? Either Drew Lock, is it going to be DeVito? Like, who is it going to be? I don't see the Giants offense doing much in this game. I mean, the Ravens, they have a really good defense. I think they'll stop the run. They'll load the box. They pretty much have a good secondary as well that can really cover against Malik Neighbors. The Ravens have a better offensive line. They have a better run game, in my opinion. I think they'll run the ball better. They'll throw the ball better. And the Giants are one of the bottom pass protecting units in football. And I think the Ravens defense is going to be a handful for it. So I think the Ravens are going to be able to start fast. They're going to put up points on the board. I don't see how the Giants can do it. So, yeah. So I got the Ravens winning, and I got them covering that big number. I know 16.5 is a lot of number, but I think they will. I don't think the Giants will keep up. I think the Ravens can win at least maybe 42-16 or 42-9 or 49-9, something like that. Something as a blowout. So that's another lock of the week for me. So yeah, so the Ravens, I got them winning big. I got them covering that big number. Next game we have the Dallas Cowboys facing against the Carolina Panthers. Carolina is favored by 3. I don't know why. And Dallas is underdogs in this game. I don't know why. I don't know why this game favoring Carolina. I wish Dallas would have been favoring this game, but I don't know why Dallas is underdogs in this game. But if because I don't know why, because it's Cooper Rush versus Bryce Young. Now, if this was Dak Prescott versus Bryce Young, this would totally change the number to Dallas being favorite. But this game is favoring Carolina to win this game because I know they're at home, and Bryce Young is playing a lot better than Cooper Rush, and Cooper Rush did not really play great last week. And Bryce Young's playing better right now. He's being patient with the ball. He's starting to find guys wide open. Young guys are stepping up like Xavier Legette. Adam Thielen's playing great. I mean, the Panthers' offense is playing really good. The defense, of Carolina is starting to get better. It's starting to click. The Panthers, they've been starting to run the ball a little bit better. Now, Dallas, has been running the ball a little bit better too. I mean, Rico kind of had a better game though. Like he's starting to get better as a running back. He had a really good game against the Bengals, but yeah, I mean, he's getting better as a running back. And Dallas, they ran the football really well last week against Cincinnati. Now the question is, can they do it again against Carolina's defense, who is not great? No, but you know what? Both of their run defense aren't great. And their offenses, I would argue that Dallas is a better offense than the Panthers. Dallas could have a better defense because they have more talent there. But Dallas is really not getting a little healthier on defense because now I heard news that Diggs is going to be out for the season and Overshown's out for the season. That's two big key pieces to that defense. Maybe they get DeMarcus Lawrence back. I now Micah Parsons, with the Cowboys defense playing better with Micah Parsons, is helping a little bit. That's what I'll say. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people are picking Carolina Panthers to win because they have the better quarterback, but you can call me crazy because I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. And the reason why I'm taking Dallas to win this game is, they're coming off a Monday night game. They have at least 6 or 7 days. They have 6 days to prepare. They're coming off a Monday. Dallas is overall better team. They have better coaching. So yeah, and I think the offense will run the ball more than Carolina. I think they'll throw the ball a little bit better. Now, I feel like they can totally blow, and I feel like Dallas can start a little bit faster against the Panthers. I feel like they need to because Carolina's already eliminated from playoff contention, and Dallas is looking forward. They're close to being eliminated. Now I feel like Dallas, is out. I feel like Dallas could totally push for a playoff spot, and they could have more to play for this game. So yeah, so I think this game right here could be close. I think it's gonna be competitive. Um, I feel like Dallas is gonna win a close one. I think they're gonna win in defensive fashion. I'm gonna say Dallas wins 23-20 or like maybe like 20 to like 16. I think it's gonna be a lower scoring game. I think it's gonna be a defensive game. So I lean towards Dallas to win. I lean towards Dallas, but I don't love it. Because I know last year when these two teams play, I believe that Dallas did blew them out though, which they did. So yeah, don't forget that they did blew them out last time when they played last year. So yeah, so I am taking Dallas to win straight up. Next game we have the New York Jets against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, the New York Jets, they're favored by 3. The line was 3.5, but it's 3 now. Um, the Jets are totally coming off a heartbreaking loss against the Dolphins in overtime. Jags are totally coming off of a win against the Tennessee Titans. Um, Now I want to say this out that Aaron Rodgers does struggle in Florida. Now I don't know if it's true or not, but he does struggle in Florida. But Jacksonville is kind of a tough place to play at, like I say, and the Jets, defense, in my opinion, is a lot better than the Jags, but the Jets defense is not really great this year. Maybe Jacksonville's offense can totally move the ball against them. Maybe they'll have success run the ball. They'll have success passing the ball. But Mac Jones stinks, and he can't really execute. Like he can't complete a pass. Like he can't read a defense. Like yeah, and he's facing against a Jets defense that's very strong. Now here's the thing: I thought the Jets offensively they played really good as an offense. Like they ran the ball really well, they throw the ball really well. Aaron Rodgers looked as solid. Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson is a terrible matchup for Jacksonville. Like, I don't think Jacksonville is going to be able to match up well with the Jets receivers. I think Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson will have a big game. I think Brees Hall, if he plays, he'll have a good game as well. I think the Jets will run the ball better than the Jags. I think the Jets defense can get pressure. And they pretty much have a secondary that can really man up against Brian Thomas. And because the Jags, their weaponry on offense outside of Brian Thomas is a little shaky now because now their offense took another hit, especially with Evan Ingram, who's going to be out for the season due to a torn labrum and shoulder. And then you got other receivers who are out too. Like, there's no Evan Ingram, there's no Christian Kirk, there's no Gabe Davis. Like, that's a lot of weapons on offense that are out. So they have too many injuries on offense. And the Jets right now, they're a little healthy. So yeah, so by the way, I'm gonna take the Jets to win because the Jets have the better quarterback, they have the better defense, and also they're pretty much more healthier, especially on offense. So yeah, so by the way, I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I'm gonna say Jets win like maybe like 16-13, something like that, or 16-13, 20 to 16, something like that. Like I think it's gonna be low scoring. Like I don't or like 16-10. Like I think it's gonna be more of a lower scoring game because I think the Jags and especially the Jags defense did play really well against the Titans. I thought the defense really played really well, keeping Tennessee out of the end zone. Like Jacksonville's defense played really well last week. Don't get me wrong, they did though. But I think their defense can totally keep them in this game though. So yeah, so by the way, I will take Jacksonville with the cover, but I'll take the Jets to win the game. Next game we have the Miami Dolphins against the Houston Texans. The Texans are favored by 2.5. It was 3, but now it's at 2.5. This game right here should be fun to watch. Dolphins are looking towards to keep their playoff hopes alive, and the Texans are totally coming off a bye. But here's the thing: I think the Texans are going to win because they're coming off a bye. They're at home. I think they're a better team overall. And I pretty much think they got a better defense. Like the Dolphins defense did not look pretty good last week against the Jets. Like totally they were letting teams hang around. They were letting them hang around like the majority of the game. Like yeah, like they almost lost that game though, and they should have lost, but they found a way to survive with the win, especially with the Jonnu Smith getting that game winning touchdown in overtime. Now I don't see it happening again. Now here's the thing. The Dolphins, I don't think their O-line's good, and they're facing against a really good pass rush in the Houston Texans that led by Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, and D'Amico Autry. I think the Texans pass rush is really going to give the Dolphins O-line a lot of fits. I think they're going to give Tua some fits, and the Texans pretty much have a great secondary. I think they can man up against the Dolphins receivers, and yeah, like I feel like CJ Stroud will find a way to beat man coverage against the Dolphins secondary. I think he will. And I feel like Nico Collins and Tank Dell will have a good game. Dalton Schultz will have a good game as well. But the Dolphins defense is playing good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're going to do enough here to win this game, though. But I think the offense should be able to put up points and score. They should be able to move the ball. D'Amico Ryans, he's done a really good job with the Dolphins in the past. I think he'll do a good job, like shutting down Mike McDaniel's offense. I feel like D'Amico Ryans will have a good game plan. So, yeah. And I think they'll find a way to run the ball in this game against the Dolphins defense. Even though the Dolphins run defense is very good, I still think the Texans will have success running the ball a little bit. I feel like they're going to get Joe Mixon going in the run game. So, yeah. So, by the way, and don't forget, Azeez Al-Shakir is suspended for a few games. So don't forget about that. He's suspended for 3 games. So, yeah. So, I think it will be close, but I'm going to say the Texans win, but give me Miami with the points. I think Miami will cover, and they'll hang around this game. I'm going to say Houston wins by a field goal. I'm probably going to say like 27-24, 24-21, something like that. So, somewhere in that range, yeah. I'll take the Texans to win, but I'll take the Dolphins to cover. Next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 4, actually. They were favored by 4, but now they're favored by 4.5. So, obviously, they are favored by 4.5. So, basically, this game right here can totally go either way. I want to take the Colts to win, but I know they're coming off a bye, but I really want to take them to win. But I don't really see it, though. I think the Broncos win. They both come off a bye, but I think the Broncos win this game. They're at home. They're coming off a bye. They should be well rested and have a week prepared. They should be getting guys off the injury report during the bye. Denver has the better quarterback. They have the better coach. They're at home. They're the more complete team and have the better defense. Now, this is a rookie facing against a Gus Bradley's defense, but I don't think the Colts defense is anything special. I feel like Bo Nix and the Broncos offensive line is going to have time to at least like slice and dice the Colts secondary up, because I feel like Courtland Sutton will be a problem for this Colts secondary. Like, I feel like he will be. Don't get me wrong. I feel like they'll run the ball a bit better in the Colts, because I don't think the Colts run defense is great. The Broncos defensively, I think they'll find a way to contain Anthony Richardson and pressure Anthony Richardson, and they'll find a way to blitz him. Um, I feel like Vance Joseph will set up a good game plan. They pretty much have a better secondary, and I feel like the Colts will be getting receivers back, like Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, and Alec Pierce. Like they should be able to at least like get their receivers back, but it don't really matter. I feel like the Broncos secondary will find a way to just lock them down. Like I don't see the Colts. I don't think like I feel like yeah, that's pretty much why I think the Broncos win. Like I don't think Anthony Richardson's that good. I feel like he sucks. Like I feel like he can't beat man coverage. I think the Colts can find a way to run the ball a little bit with Anthony Richardson, but I don't think they're gonna be able to pass the ball as much. Like they don't really have a passing game. So I mean, yeah. Like there's no way I would bet on a guy who is a 40% completion. Like, how would I do that? Like, that's crazy. Like, how would I bet on a guy that has like a 40% completion? Like, come on, dude. Like, the guy stinks. Yeah, I mean, a couple weeks ago, you can definitely say against the Jets he did prove as a passer, but that's true. But that's just a different game. But I don't think the Colts will do much of passing the ball offensively against the Broncos defense. Especially the Broncos defense is kind of one of the best in the league. So, yeah. That's why I think Denver wins. Next game, we got the Buffalo Bills against the Detroit Lions. Um, Detroit's favored by 2.5. Obviously, this game right here can totally go either way. But at the same time, the Bills are totally coming off a heartbreaking loss against the Rams, while the Lions are totally coming off of a close win against the Packers. The Lions have totally not lost since week 2, and so yeah, that's something that you got to watch. So yeah, obviously, this is a game of the week. Two of the best teams in the NFL. Now, here's the thing. I feel like this game right here could be closer than we expect. I feel like it could be high scoring. This could be the Super Bowl as well. So obviously, I have a feeling that the Lions, they pretty much have a great defense, and the Bills have a great defense as well. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if this game was really sloppy, but I feel like it could be an offensive game. Now, the Lions' defensive depth totally took major hits. Now, with the major hits they have in their defense, I don't know if the Lions' defense is going to do enough to contain Josh Allen. Because I have a feeling that Josh Allen, he might do his thing, and he might find a way to at least like find a way to at least make some plays against a Lions defense. Some line, that's dealing with injuries, but their secondary is pretty healthy, and the Bills secondary is pretty healthy too. But I have a feeling that at the same time, both of them have a good run game and a good offensive line. It's hard to say who's going to run the ball better, but at the same time, I have a feeling that the Lions defense is a lot better than the Bills. I think they can make some more stops. I feel like Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn will have good game plans. But I feel like as long as Jared Goff, can do his thing on offensively, passing the ball and running the ball, I have a feeling, you know, I have a feeling the Lions might have a chance to win this game. Now, the Lions almost lost to the Packers. Don't get me wrong. They let Green Bay hang around. Like, I don't know why. But the Packers would have won that game, but it didn't really happen. It didn't really matter because the Lions won by a field goal. Now, I thought the Bills could have at least beaten the Rams last week, but it all came down to, to the onside kick and all that. So, yeah. So, basically, I think this game right here should be fun to watch. It should be close. Obviously, I'm gonna take the team that's at home in a shootout in the Detroit Lions to win this game. I think the Lions defense will do enough to at least contain Allen, and I think their secondary is good enough to at least like defend the young receivers of the Bills. And I think the Lions kind of have a better receiving core, in my opinion. I feel like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta and Jameson Williams can have good games because I feel like those guys can beat man coverage. I feel like they can run the ball a little bit better in this game. I think their running game will be effective, and I feel like their O line should have time and all that to at least like keep Jerichoff clean. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bills won, but I just have a feeling the Lions are just gonna pull it off. So yeah, I don't know why, but I think it's gonna be high scoring. But I'm gonna say Lions win like 34-30, something like 34-31, something like that. More like a field goal. So giving the Lions to win, giving the points with Buffalo. I feel like Buffalo will do enough to like cover this game. I think they'll. I think they'll find a way to at least like stay in the game, and Josh Allen is probably going to do his thing, and they'll find a way to like move the ball in this game. Their defense might get some stops in this game as well. So yeah, so I'll take the Bills to cover. I'll take the Lions to win. All right, next game we have another game of the week. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the Battle of Pennsylvania. Philly is favored by 5.5. Obviously, this game right here can go either way, but at the same time, you know, like I said, it's a battle in Pennsylvania, and this is fun to watch because two of the best teams playing against each other. Now, this could totally be the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong; it could be a Super Bowl matchup for both teams. But here's the thing: I'm gonna I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. Now, here's why. I think the Eagles are just a slightly better team. They have the better coach. I mean, they're at home. They're slightly a better team. The quarterbacks could be Ethan. Now the Steelers, another reason why I'm gonna take Philly to win this game is because here's the thing: the Steelers don't got George Pickens again. He's gonna be out again, which really hurts their entire offense. I don't really think the Steelers offense is gonna be able to do much in this game. Like, I just don't really see how they're going to be able to do much in this game and have success throwing the ball. Because most of their receivers cannot really beat man coverage as much. Um, guys are stepping up like Vance Joseph and Mike Williams, but yeah, I mean, without their number one receiver, their biggest threat, number one wide receiver, I just don't really see how the Steelers offense is going to be able to throw the ball. And I feel like the Eagles will throw the ball better. I feel like they need to get the passing game going. Like, AJ Brown and Devonta Smith, all say they were all frustrated because of a lack of a passing game, and they need to get better with it, which I pretty much understand that. But I feel like the Eagles will have success throwing the ball a little bit more in this game. Now, AJ Brown and Devonta Smith could be a problem for the Steelers because sometimes the Steelers defense give up big plays in the secondary. And I feel like those guys can like win their one-on-one matchup against the Steelers DBs and corner group. And they'll find a way to beat man coverage in those scenarios. And I feel like Jalen Hurts could totally. Now I feel like the Steelers defense can totally give the Eagles offense a tough time because Jalen Hurts sometimes gets sacked in so many plays. Sometimes he will just run it himself when guys are not getting open. But at the same time, the Eagles do have a better offensive line, and I feel like they'll protect better, and I feel like they'll run the ball better. I don't think the Steelers are going to be able to run it a little bit better, especially defending against the best defense in the NFL, which is the Eagles. They have a really good run defense. I feel like they'll stop the run better, and they pretty much have a good secondary, which I think they'll find a way to man up against an unwilling receiving core of Pittsburgh, because I believe that the Steelers offensively, weaknesses, they're like bottom 7 in like pass protecting. So yeah, they're like bottom 7 in pass protecting units. So due to the Steelers' offensive line not being great. So I think the Eagles' defensive line should be able to get pressure, and they'll be able to get after Russ. And Russell Wilson, he's been solid lately. Like, he's playing better. But I feel like Pittsburgh is going to be due for a loss because they were so fortunate to beat the Browns and the Bengals. So, yeah. And I feel like Philly is on a roll. I mean, one of these teams is going to have to lose. But I think if one of these teams have to lose, I think it will be Philly. So, I am taking Philly to win this game for sure. But I will take the Steelers to cover because I think the Steelers game. I feel like the Steelers are going to hang around this game, and I feel like they will and keep it close. I think the offense will get better. Will play a little bit better in this game, but I don't think they'll do enough to score enough points like they did last week. But I felt the Eagles' offense will be able to score more points in this game. So yeah. So by the way, I will take the Eagles to win the game, but I'll take Steelers to cover. I think the Eagles can win by a touchdown. I'm probably gonna say like 23-17, or maybe their defense wins them this game, where the Steelers' offense is trying to sustain drives down the field. So yeah, that could happen. So yeah, I got the Eagles winning. I got the Steelers covering. Next game, we got the New England Patriots against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored by -6. Obviously, so basically, I don't know. The Cardinals are favored by 6. I know this is a big number. Um, I mean, there's a chance I think New England can pull off an upset. Don't get me wrong. They can pull off an upset, but I don't know if I see it, though. Now, here's the thing. I feel like this game's going to get ugly because, you know, the Cardinals defense, now Patriots defense is pretty good, and the Cardinals defense is not as bad as you think. Now, the Cardinals defense is at least talented in football, but what do? They do run zone and blitz heavy or cover 2, cover 3. I mean, something like that. Like, that's a style of defense Arizona plays, but the Patriots kind of do play that style of defense. But I think the defense will keep them in the game. Don't get me wrong. The defense will keep them in the game, but the Patriots do have a better defense, and the Cardinals have a better defense as well. I think the defense of the Patriots is better than the Cardinals. Don't get me wrong, but I heard in fantasy that the Patriots defense, but I don't know if it is better than the Cardinals because basically in fantasy, the Cardinals defense is ranked higher than the Patriots. I don't know why. But I feel like the Patrons O line is, it's pretty bad, but I think they'll find a way to protect Drake May, and I think the offense will run the ball a little bit. And Drake May, I feel like he's pretty good with the ball, and he's good against the blitz, and when you don't blitz him, you're in trouble because he's really good against the blitz because he gets the ball out quick and all that. I don't know if they can do that against the Cardinals, but I feel like if Kyler Murray, he's very capable of getting the ball out quick, and I think he can use his legs, and I think he can run around and do stuff. And the Patriots have struggled against scrambling quarterbacks. Don't get me wrong; their defense has struggled against scrambling quarterbacks. So yeah, but the Patriots do have the weakest receiving core in football. Don't get me wrong, but the Cardinals defense will find a way to play some sticky coverage against a underwhelming Patriots receiving core. And I think, the Patriots defense is better than the Cardinals, which I think they pretty much have more talent there. I think their young defense, as their pass rush, can find a way to get after Kyler. I think they pretty much have a good secondary that can man against Marvin Harrison Jr. But Marvin Harrison Jr. has been good against man coverage, and he can beat man coverage. Trey McBride is too. But at the same time, I'm going to take the Cardinals to win this game because in Arizona, they have the better quarterback. They're at home. They pretty much have a better coach because, you know, Gerard Mayo, he's just a jabroni, and the Patriots are just a joke. And, the Cardinals have more weapons on offense, and they'll run the ball better than them in the Patriots. So, yeah, that's why I'm taking Arizona to win, but I will take New England with the points. I think they'll cover because of their defense. So, yeah. I mean, and also Arizona has more to play for because they have a better chance to make the playoffs, and New England is already eliminated from the playoffs because they're not going to make it. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I got Arizona winning, but I do have the Patriots covering. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 3. Obviously, this game right here could go either way. Now, most people could be picking the Buccaneers to win because, the Bucs have a better receiving core than the Chargers. That could be true. But at the same time, this is, this is Tampa Bay going across the country playing LA where it's kind of tough to play at. Now, here's the thing. Now, the Chargers, they're at home and they're dealing with some injuries. Lack McConkey's been banged up. He didn't play last week. Herbert was banged up for at least a day or two, and he was able to get limited in practice. And I was saying that, if I was going to call it a trap game because I didn't know if Herbert was playing, but I was like, if Herbert plays, I'll pick the Chargers, but if he doesn't play, I'm going with the Bucs. But I just found that Herbert is going to play. So, and Ladd McConkey's going to play. So, by the way, I think the Chargers are going to win because the Chargers are at home. I feel like they're a more complete. They're at home. They pretty much have a better coach. They pretty much have the better defense. The Bucs defense is not really good, and the Chargers do have one of the best defense in football. And I feel like that their defense with their pass rush, I think they'll find a way to at least get after Baker, and I feel like they'll probably stop the running game of the Bucs. Now Irvin is questionable to play, but if he doesn't play, it's probably gonna be White. But if he does play, I feel like he can be in a starting lineup. Now I feel like that the defense of Tampa Bay is not really good in the red zone, and the Chargers been a better red zone defense as well. I think the Chargers can find a way to run the ball a little bit, but I don't think they will run it much though. But I think they'll find a way in the passing game to throw the ball and get young guys involved because I like how the way the Chargers passing offense is playing. I like how the way the Chargers is playing as an offense, and I like how the way they're playing as a defense as well. So yeah. And the Chargers, pretty much have a better defense. And the Bucs defense is terrible. Don't get me wrong. It's terrible this year. Like the Chargers are facing against a high school defense that's terrible. You can make an argument saying that the Bucs defense did play really good against the Raiders, but that's just the Raiders, though. But this is just a different. But this is a different team. This is the Chargers who are playing against a defense that's really really good. So yeah. So basically, I think the Chargers win. Um, I'll take them to cover as well because the Bucs defense is just terrible. But it did play really good last week, like I said. And I feel like the Chargers got better vibes as well. So yeah, and their secondary, they should be able to like man up against Mike Evans and all that. So they pretty much have the secondary to do that. So yeah, that's why I think the Chargers will win and cover. Did we got Sunday night football game? Another game of the week. We got a lot of games of the week so far. We got the Green Bay Packers against the Seattle Seahawks. The Green Bay Packers are favored by 2.5. Obviously, this is on my trap game because it can go either way. The Seahawks, are totally coming off back-to-back wins, and they're on a 4-game winning streak. And the Packers are coming off a tough loss against the Lions. Now, I can say this game can totally go either way because, the Packers got to go across the country in Seattle where it's tough to play at. Seattle does have a really good defense. They have a really good offense so far. Geno's playing good. The offensive line's playing good. Defensively, they're playing really good. But the sad news is that no Kenneth Walker. Now, without Kenneth Walker, I don't think the Seattle Seahawks are going to be able to run the ball as much. And the Packers really do have a great run defense, and I feel like they can stop the run. They pretty much have their secondary is pretty strong. They can stop the pass. Now, if Jair doesn't play, I feel like that the Seahawks that's an issue because I don't think nobody can cover DK Metcalf because he's a difference maker. He could totally be a problem for that Packers secondary, which that can totally help. The Packers offense is, you can argue saying is really good. They pretty much have a better running game and a better offensive line. They can pass the ball really good. I hope they get Romeo Dobbs back because that could be huge. Wicks had a good game. Kraft had a good game. Christian Watson is playing better. Jaden Reed, he was quiet in the game. I expect him to have a good game as well. So yeah. So at the end of the day, I know it's in Seattle, but I'm gonna lean towards the Packers to win. And the reason why I think the Packers are gonna win is because I have a feeling that Green Bay is just an overall better team. They got the better coach, and I just feel like they'll run the ball better in this game. I feel like Josh Jacobs will have a monster game, and I feel like Seattle is due for a loss because they were so fortunate over the past 4 weeks. They're on a 4-game winning streak because they were so lucky to beat the Cardinals. They were so lucky to beat the Jets. They were so lucky to sweep the Cardinals, and they were so lucky to beat the Jets, and they were also so lucky to split with the 49ers, beat the 49ers a couple weeks ago. But I feel like Seattle is going to be due for a loss in this game. So that's pretty much why I'm leaning towards Packers to win. I will take the Seahawks with the points. I'm going to say they're going to cover 2.5 because I think Seattle will hang around this game. But if Green Bay, like if Seattle doesn't hang around this game, I think this Green Bay can totally get up early and blow them out. But I don't see it happening. I think Green Bay wins by a field goal. I'm gonna say like 30-27, something like that. So yeah, I like the Packers to win this game. I like the Seahawks to cover. Next game we have the Chicago Bears against the Minnesota Vikings. Um, the Chicago Bears, they're favored by. Minnesota's favored by -7. Obviously, last time when these two teams played, now a couple weeks ago, they did go into overtime, and the Bears were competitive in that game, and the Vikings won by a field goal. Obviously, I got the Vikings win this game, and the reason why is that the Vikings are at home. They got more to play for. They're a better team. They got better coaching staff, and obviously, they got the better quarterback as well. Sam Darnold's playing a lot better than Caleb Williams. Um, Yeah, and by the way, the Vikings do have a better defense. And the Bears defense, was terrible last week against the Niners. Like basically, they give like 320 yards against, like they gave up 320 yards for the 40. Like they gave to the, like basically the Bears defense was terrible last week. Like basically they only had 3 yards against the Niners in the first half and gave up like 323 yards against the Niners. Like that's terrible. Like the Bears defense was terrible though in that game, especially their offense. They totally couldn't move the ball in this game. Like Caleb Williams was getting sacked 7 times. Like he was under pressure. He couldn't really handle it. Now the same thing can totally happen in this game, but I feel like Minnesota can do what what San Francisco did. I feel like like set up with some screen pass, some short quick passes, to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Now they both put up big numbers last week, and T.J. Hockenson as well. I feel like they'll find a way to at least like move the ball against a Bears defense that's really not good. And I feel like the Vikings will run the ball better in this game. Aaron Jones can have a monster game. And I think this defense of Minnesota, I think they'll be able to at least like contain Caleb Williams. I feel like Brian Flores, he'll do a good job, like getting after Caleb Williams, putting pressure on him. And the Vikings pass rush is pretty much underrated. I think they'll find a way to get after Caleb and all that, especially they're playing against an offensive line of the Bears that's not really good. And the Bears, are a bottom 7, pass protecting unit. And the Vikings pretty much have a better secondary, which I think they'll find a way to at least like stop the passing game of Chicago. So yeah, I think it could be a lower scoring game, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a blowout though. I'm gonna say the Vikings win 38-17. So I got 38-17. I got Vikings win. I got Vikings to cover as well. So yeah, that's pretty much why. Then we got another Monday night game. The last game, we got the Atlanta Falcons against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Atlanta Falcons are favored by 5.5. Obviously, I got the Atlanta Falcons. Now, obviously, I got the Atlanta Falcons win this game. I think they will get back on track, after losing 4 straight games. I think the Falcons win. I think they cover. And the reason for that is that the Falcons, they have the better quarterback. Um, the coaches are even. They're slightly the better team. Um, I feel like this can be another lock of the week because the Raiders defense, I don't think the Raiders defense is any good. And the Falcons don't have a great defense. We could totally see an offensive game, but Devin Ritter stinks. Like he can't really execute. He can't really read a defense. Like he stinks. And the Raiders offense stinks as well. Maybe the Atlanta can totally get a pass rush. I feel like, I'm not really concerned about Atlanta's, defense, especially against their pass rush. I mean, their secondary. I mean, as long as they can crowd the box, they'll play the run better. I feel like the Falcons will run the ball better in this game. I feel like they're gonna. I'm making a bold prediction. I'm predicting that the Falcons are gonna rush for like 200 yards or more. That's what I'm predicting. I'm predicting they're gonna rush for at least 200 plus yards. Like I see it though. Like I think they will, and the reason for that is that I heard something on the news that that Max Crosby is going to undergo ankle surgery, which he's going to be out for the year. I mean, no Max Crosby, no Christian Wilkins, no Malcolm Koonce. I mean, that should probably help the Falcons' running game, which they'll be able to run the ball a bit more. And it'll probably help their O-line, protect Kirk Cousins. He should have a lot of time. And the Raiders' secondary is not great. I feel like Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London will be a problem. So yeah, so I think their offense is going to overpower them in this game. And I think defensively, I think they'll crowd the box in this game. And they'll play better. I feel like Raheem Morris will have a good game plan in this game. So, yeah. I'll take the Falcons to win this game. I will take them to cover as well. I think they're going to win like 37-17, something like that. I don't think the Raiders' offense keep up because the Raiders, like I said, the Raiders are terrible on offense, especially on defense. Like they've been terrible all year. Like they haven't really won. Like they haven't really won since like week 4. So that's something you gotta remember that they haven't won since week 4 and all this. So yeah. So I got the Falcons winning big. I got the Falcons covering. But maybe the Raiders do cover, but I don't see it. Especially with the injuries they have on defense. All right, those are all my week 15 picks for this week. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of my week 15 predictions and what you guys think of your week 15 predictions. Well, this is Emmanuel Jones for Big Fan. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, if you want to see more of my NFL weekly prediction, you can go to my playlist. So yeah. Well, this is again Emmanuel Jones, Big Fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.